So it looks like The Simpsons are trying to get rid of the Apu character, which seems to be based on the Problem with Apu documentary that came out, I think, over a year ago now, saying how he was such an awful character because he was a stereotype and making fun of Indians and making people think that all Indians act exactly like Apu does, and just total nonsense stuff that I don't think anyone actually thought when they watched the show. But this is kind of disappointing because I watched probably the first 23 seasons of The Simpsons. Like, I really liked the show then. I haven't watched it since, so I just had more important things to do. But he was a decent character, and it's kind of depressing to see that they're removing a character because people complain that he was a stereotype, which you can tell these people were never actually fans of The Simpsons, and in my opinion, you shouldn't let people that have never watched the show dictate how to run the show, because that's not who your target audience is. Your target audience is the people that watch the show, the people that want to watch the show, that have watched the show in the past. And I get you want to bring in new people and that. You want to bring in new people to watch the show, and this whole controversy probably might have hurt the show's image, but it's very disappointing. It's very depressing because this thing is entirely just, there's no point to it. Because remember, I mean, I don't think I have to tell any of you that Apu is a joke, like he's a stereotype. Like 95% of the characters in The Simpsons, like The Simpsons themselves, the actual family, is supposed to be a stereotype. Bart is the bad boy stereotype. Lisa is the nerd girl stereotype. Freaking Bumblebee Man's like a Hispanic stereotype. Ken Brockman's the news guy stereotype. Groundskeeper Willie is like a Scottish stereotype. These people are all super stereotypical, and that's the joke. The joke isn't that these people are acting exactly like their characters in real life. The joke is that these people are stereotypes. And then over the years, of course, they've added more character depth to them, and they've added all kinds of great stuff. But remember that on the very face of it, these characters started out as stereotypes, as jokes, as caricatures. They weren't meant to be representative of everyone. In fact, the joke kind of the joke kind of goes away if you really believe that these people represent everyone, that like of their race or their ideology or like that archetype. It's very disappointing to see people that have no idea how any like how comedy works. I'm not claiming to be an expert or anything. I'm not like a comedy expert at all. But I can at least understand a lot of the basic things when it comes to jokes, and that a lot of the things is, a lot of the jokes rely on the fact that, like, yeah, if these things were true, they would be less funny. Like, the joke is that it's a stereotype. The joke is that it's not real. Like, it's that sometimes, like, a lot of the really offensive jokes, like the rape jokes or the Holocaust jokes, the reason they're funny is because they're bad. Like, the purpose of the reason the joke works is because the joke is that the person telling the insensitive thing is a bad person. That's where it comes from. Like, moving on to other kinds of jokes, like, again, the rape jokes thing. If you're a rapist, rape jokes aren't funny because it misses the point. Like, you have to think rape is bad for certain rape jokes to be funny, because it's going into that territory, the taboo territory that makes it funny. But anyway, this is very disappointing that they're talking. Now, this isn't anything, this is all speculation. From what I can hear, it's not that they're killing off the character, they're getting rid of him. It's more that they're, or as they say, eliminating him, but they're trying to change him, they can say. They're either trying to write him off, or they're trying to update the character in a sense to where he's not what he is now. But it's disappointing. Like, I don't like this idea of people going after things like this when you can tell they're like, this kind. I can't imagine this person is a big fan of The Simpsons, because the humor relies on relies on at least a basic understanding of how this works, and it's disappointing that this guy can't even like let a stereotype be. It's a stereotype. Like, nobody's watching this and thinking that's how all Indians act. And if they are thinking that, it wasn't The Simpsons that made them think that. It was something else in the past, some ideology, collectivism, something along that lines. But it is very disappointing. And I know I've said that like 9 or 10 times in this 5-minute video, so at this far at least. But I think this goes into a bigger point of, if you're trying to seek change, what route do you go? Because there's two routes you can go, and that's either the creative route or the destructive route. And I tend to prefer the creative route. I think it's much better. But I can understand in certain situations where you need the destructive route. But simply the creative route is, you see something you don't like, okay, you're going to do something better. Like, you see the media, and you're like, the media is unfair. So what do? You start an alternative media company. You see people are lying. What do? You start putting out the truth yourself. You see that something isn't working right, or you don't like how it is. You come up with a better alternative. You change things by creating better things. It's like you see something bad is like if you have an opponent, and whether maybe it's a sports team or something, like, actually that's a good example there, sports. There's the creative and the destructive route. The creative route is, let's train our team to be better. Let's become more skilled. Let's practice. The destructive route is, let's sabotage the other team. Like, let's injure them, stop them from succeeding. The destructive route is less, we're going to be better, and more, we're going to hurt the enemy. Like, the enemy is going to be worse. Now, again, there are certain situations where that applies, like ISIS, for example. Taking the creative route and coming up with an alternative to ISIS, and not the best idea. Although I think there is a necessity for creative route, and that you can't just go out destroying things, because then there's a vacuum, and you need to fill that vacuum with something creative. So the creative route is meant to fill in the gap that is created by destruction. But the destructive route, again, necessary when it comes to evil things like ISIS and violent organizations. Like, sometimes they won't leave you alone. You have to destroy them. I can see a necessity in that there. However, when it comes to stuff like this, like, they don't like the Apu characters, they're going to eliminate the Apu character. Like, I mean, obviously they're recommending that this happen. They're not actually, like, trying to take down the Simpsons. They're just putting out propaganda, putting out a documentary that says this is why he's a problem. I get that they're taking a peaceful route, which is nice. Obviously, I don't think anyone is suggesting that the Apu character deserves violence of some kind, or is a reason to escalate to violence, as in, unfortunately, other areas. But I think these people here are still taking the destructive route, in that there's a character they don't like, so they're saying this is why the character's bad, and we should take down the character, we should replace it, we should get rid of it. And I just find it so weird that they picked him. Like, why pick him? Why not say, hey, here's something that applies to 50 other characters, which makes me question, like, do they not see that all these other characters are the same as Apu, and that they're stereotypes of a certain demographic, a certain caricature? I never understood why they picked him specifically. I legitimately don't get that. Maybe they think all these other people aren't caricatures and they're actually accurate representations of people. I don't know. But I don't like this route. I think the creative route would be, this is our problems with The Simpsons, now we're going to make a better show. Or we're going to make our own show. We're going to do something different. But they seem to be getting rid of a character that, as far as I can tell, has not done any harm, has done nothing wrong. And of course, again, if Apu is the problem, if Apu is a problem, then wouldn't it be better to go after the entire show? Wouldn't it be better to go after, hey, this show is filled with problematic characters, let's take down the whole show? It just seems so weird that they picked the one guy and that seems to be it. And it is disappointing that Hank Azaria even said he'd step down from the character and stop doing the voice. It's like, this character's done nothing wrong. Okay, he hurt a few people. That's their problem. That's their problem. He's not spreading out lies about the Indian community. That's not what's happening. People understand that this is a stereotype. But no, it's something that I haven't watched the show in quite a while, so I can't say for all I know. Maybe the character's gotten really bad, or maybe the Apu character said, "Yes, I represent all Indians" sometime 3 years ago, and I just didn't watch it. But no, it's the mindset I don't like. The mindset of going after a character who, as far as I can tell, he's a well-written character, enjoyable. I fail to see how he has hurt anybody. But no, I don't like the mindset behind going after these people. But let me know what you think in the comments. I might be wrong, but I don't see how I could possibly be wrong. Normally I can understand the other side and see how some people would think that. This I don't get. I don't see the mindset against this character as anything but destructive. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. And thanks for watching.